All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin. This is SmellGoodz. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit. This is the place for the SmellGoodz. All right. And so this video is this is continuing our series, the March Madness series, where I've allowed AI to take 64 of my fragrances out of my collection, put them into 4 groups of 16, break them down March Madness bracket style. And we're doing head-to-head battle. So this is group 3 and group 4. If you've missed any of them, definitely make sure I put the link up here. Make sure you click that link, go back and watch the selection of Sunday, if you will, selection video, as well as group 1 and 2, that we can catch up and see where things are. All right, listen, this is going to be a little doozy right now, because there is, as I was just kind of looking at and getting the bottles together for this round or for this group and the next group, there's some stuff in here that's going to be some challenging. So do me the favor also, in the comments, if you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, request notifications, and share. That way you will get the newest video when it comes up, especially in this series. But also in the comments, let me know where you agree, where you disagree. If there's something that I did a head-to-head of and you are disagreeing with it, I want to hear about it. I want to hear your thoughts, because it's all subjective if we're honest, right? Just to kind of relay the ground rules and kind of how I'm doing this. I'm basing it based upon, of course, the scent, which one smells the best, but I'm also looking at things like performance, so longevity, sillage, projection, those things, as well as if it's a mass appeal fragrance, is it really a great mass appeal scent, or if we're looking at a unique profile or unique DNA, is it unique enough? So especially when we're coming down to some, I'm kind of comparing those things. And in all honesty, some of this will also be just my own personal bias, my own personal things, my own personal feelings about a fragrance, because as we know, this whole thing is subjective, and it's very possible that I feel some way about something today, and tomorrow it might shift. All right. So I'm going to put up here the groups again. I'm going to put up group 3, and we're going to roll into it, do this, and do the side-by-side or the head-to-head of it, and let me know what your thoughts are. All right, first up in our head-to-head is going to be Afnan Supremacy Noir, and that's going to go up against, from the House of Mancera, we've got Cosmic Pepper. All right, so Supremacy Noir is more of a, first of all, it's a take on, I want to say Bottega something, I forgot what it's called, but it's a very green, woody scent. Departure in some respects from other things that I've smelled from Supremacy. It is still a dupe, if I'm understanding correctly, but it is more of a spicy, not spicy, but woody green type of fragrance. Going up against, from Mancera, Cosmic Pepper, which is a nice citrusy, musky type of a scent that does dry down with some vanilla in there. I think it's vanilla and tonka bean. Very nice scent. When I'm comparing these two, for me, it's going to go to Cosmic Pepper. Cosmic Pepper is going to win this one, just because it's, to me, more versatile. It's one that just works in a variety of situations, in a variety of seasons. And the projection, the longevity of it, for me, works very well. So from our first matchup, Cosmic Pepper is going to be the winner in that one. We'll put that over here. Next one up is one that may be a little challenging, just because this is Al Haramain Amber Oud Red, or Ruby Edition, I should say. Going up against, from Paris Corner, this is Rificat Adorn. Now, this is different from the one that was in group 1, Rificat Adorn is doing its take on Tuxedo by YSL. Al Haramain Amber Oud is doing its take on Baccarat Rouge 540, BR 540. All right. Far as what are we talking about? As far as their projection, longevity, all those fun things, as far as its performance, they're both going to be about the same. They both perform very well. This is a little louder in my opinion, but I think has a lot to do with the scent profile itself. Whereas this is a little more subdued, but this lasts a very long time, or a good enough time, I should say. I won't say long time, very long time, just because that might go into beast mode territory. But it does last a good length of time, good 6 to 7 hours. And if you think about what this is used for, or what I would normally wear this for, this is going to be more so my my elevated nights, my intentional nights, those type of things. So for them, 5, 6, 7 hours is really going to be, well, more than enough time. Now, choosing between the two, this is kind of a toss-up, just because they both do what they are supposed to do very well. They both are on par as far as kind of the things that they're cloning. They're on par with it. As far as their performance, they're on par with it. But if I'm going to, this one is going to be, in all honesty, probably my bias. For me, my bias is going to cause Rifficot Adorn to be the winner. Just because for me, it works in a lot of more of the situations that I find myself in. It works for me where it is truly a full masculine scent. The thing about Amber, the Amber Oud Ruby Edition and the BR540, I think it's a unisex fragrance down the line. No question about it. I think sometimes it can lean a little feminine, but it's still a great scent. Don't sleep on this. I think this is good still, but just in a head-to-head, I'm gonna have to go with the Rifficot Adorn. All right, that's that one. Next one up is from the House of Armaf. This is Black Saffron. And this is going up against from the House of Prada L'Homme. Now, Black Saffron, first of all, let me just point out, this is not a take, from what I understand, it's not a take, and I'm looking at the notes and everything, it's not a take on Byredo's Black Saffron. It is not that. This is a fruity, kind of peppery, spicy type of a fragrance and scent. Surprisingly picked it up, got it, kind of a blind, actually it was a blind buy. Picked it up, wasn't disappointed with it, works out very well, works out as a very good scent, more for winter, fall type of a fragrance for me, but it definitely does perform and do all the things we want it to do. And as far as Prada, I mean, the L'Homme, I think it goes without saying, this is just a great fragrance. The iris powderiness in this just works really well. So putting these two up against each other, I appreciate this, but this is going to edge it out. So the Prada L'Homme is going to definitely edge it out. And so we'll put that as our next winner. All right. Next one up is another one that involves something that is kind of powdery, going up against something that is a fresh spicy. Next one up is from the House of Lattafa. This is Oud for Glory, which is doing their take on Oud for Greatness from Initio. Pretty spot on as far as its take on it. Actually, one of my favorite fragrances, period. Especially from Lattafa. Going up against from Burberry Touch, which is just, this to me is perfect for spring, summer. It is a nice, powdery, fresh fragrance. The only thing I would say about this is does not last as long as maybe I would want it to. But again, if we're honest, most of the time when we're talking spring and summer scents, they don't last a whole long time, last all day. They don't give us a lot of beast mode performance in many respects. So between the two, again, great fragrances. I'm going to have to go with the Oud for Glory. That's going to be the one that is going to advance out of this round between these two. Definitely not test. You can see the dent in this. This is definitely not something that is trash or anything like that. It works very well for me. But it just, when I'm looking at the two, this scent profile definitely is a better fit for me. All right, so Oud for Glory is our next winner. All right, now getting into some other ones. Both of these are designers. This one is, in my opinion, is probably becoming a classic, especially when we're talking about for the spring and summer seasons. It's becoming more of a classic and probably one of those things that probably a lot of us have in our collections. It is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, going up against from the House of John Varvatos. We're talking vintage. Light blue, I mean, you've got your citrus notes in here. Just a nice, fresh spring, summer fragrance. It really, for summer, it just is light enough to work all that time, especially for me. I'm in high heat weather, especially in when we get into the summer, 100, 120 degrees. This definitely works very well for that time of year. Vintage is more, that one is You've got, I think, tobacco in here. I think you've got rum in this. This is just a classic, to me, a classic man's scent. Between the two, let's put them up against each other. I'm going to have to go with the John Varvatos Vintage. Once again, just because performance is about the same for both of them. As far as the scent profile, they're both, they both do very well what they're supposed to do. I just find, for me and my scent profile, John Varvatos Vintage is probably going to be the choice. Not that I would toss this away and throw this away, but just this would be the overall choice between the two. All right. So that's John Varvatos Vintage. Next one up is another one that has basically took FragCon by storm middle of last year versus one that I keep hearing and seeing, and of course I appreciate it. It is doing a phenomenal take on something that is kind of up there as far as price, but definitely does very well as far as what it is. For this one, we are doing from Fragrance World Imperium, which is their take on Raja Elysium, versus Hawas Black, which is doing, in my opinion, its take on Nishane's Hasavat. All right, I'm not even. This is a blowout in this for me in this respect. This is a blowout in favor of Hawas Black, just because the performance on this is nuclear. This. Every time I review this or talk about this, I kind of tell the story of how it survived, definitely survived a full day of wearing, to the point where I stepped away for a moment from my wife, went to the restroom at a conference that we were at, came back, did not refresh, did not respray. And she was like, did you respray? Because it's like it just resurrected. It just came back just because it was doing its thing. So between the two, definitely appreciate this. This is good, especially if you're looking for a nice, cheap freshie that can go for the gym, things of that nature. But Hawas Black is going to be the definitive winner in this head-to-head. All right. Next one is Battle of the Blues. We've got from Lattafa, we have Assad Zanzibar, coconut, and some other things going on with this. Up against, from the House of Mont Blanc, Legend Blue. Mont Blanc is probably one of my favorite. It's in, as far as them, John Varvatos are probably my favorite designer houses, just because I think they do great stuff. Projection, longevity sometimes doesn't always work, especially when we're talking about John Varvatos. But Mont Blanc just holds a sentimental place for me, just because it is the fragrance, one of the fragrance houses that, early on in my fragrance journey, even before I moved into the space, Mont Blanc was putting out things that I loved and I had and was in my collection. But Lattafa's Assad Zanzibar, I've tried to give this some more time. In fact, I did a video recently as far as spring fragrances, and I was trying to give it, this is macerated. I was trying to give it more of more time, just because some people love it, some people hate it. I can't say that I hate it. I just am not, it's not that great to me. It is, of the Lattafa Assads, this is my least favorite. Granted, there's only 3, but this, for men, this is the least favorite. It doesn't compare to Legend Blue with the lavender and other things that are going on in this. This right here is just built for spring, built for summer. And granted, this is not a spring summer kind of competition or have you. This is more just the fragrance overall. But for me, this could not be beat by Zanzibar. Sorry. All right. So next one up, as far as our winner, we have Legend Blue from Mont Blanc. All right, and the last one in this group, the last one in group 3, is going to be floral versus citrus. Okay, just kind of the way it worked out. Again, the AI gave me all of these matchups, and we're just going to run with them and tell you which one I like. All right. So from the House of Xerjoff, the Cosmarati line 1888, going up against from Lattafa Emir. All right, Cosmarati 1888, very floral with a little spicy in there. I know there's carnation in here. I want to say there's rose in this as well. This to me is more of it. This works in kind of those, how can I put it? This might be good for like a wedding. This might be good for something where you're dressed up, but it's the middle of the day. This wouldn't strike me necessarily as an evening intentional, but this is more of an elevated day type of fragrance for me. Beautiful fragrance, works great. Versus Lattafa's Amir, which performance-wise, this thing is a room filler. This thing, I'll tell you again, you may have heard it if you've been on this channel before, this thing will survive a wash. I've washed this, I've had this on a shirt, sprayed it on a shirt, washed it, dried it, came back, tried to put it in my drawer to fold and put away. Still could smell it on this. So this definitely is, as far as performance, beast mode performance. All right, between the two, I'm actually going to go with Lattafa Amir. This is doing its take on Town and Country by Clive Christian, and does a pretty good job of it. Definitely a nice spring summer scent, but between the two, I'm going to go with the Amir just because that performance is just crazy. All right, that's it for group 3. All right, we're going to get rolling into group 4. Group 4 has got some stuff that's just going to be some stuff that's going to be a little difficult in there too. All right, so we'll put number 4, group 4 up there for you to see the matchups we're about to do in this one. All right, let's jump into it. We've had 24 challenges so far, or head to head. This is the final 8 as far as the first round. Definitely make sure, if you have not already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, request notifications, and share. All right, group 4, let's jump into it. Let's go. First up, we've got from the House of Mancera, we have Gold Prestigium. Gold Prestigium going up against from Al Watania Cayenne Classic. Now, of course, Gold Prestigium is its own thing. It is vanilla, citrus, leather, all of that going on in here. This, if I remember correctly, is doing its take on Dior Homme Intense, and does a really good job. I mean, the iris note that's in here, and I say that there's an iris feel in this, although if I remember correctly, the note is not present as far as the listing. Could be a missed oversight, what have you, but this does a pretty good job of getting close to that Dior Homme Intense. Far as the two, both do very well as far as their projection, as far as their longevity, things of that nature. This is a very tight one just because they're both really good. I'm going to give the edge, however, to Gold Prestigium. Now, that is no shade against the Cayenne Classic, just because if you know how I feel about Mancera and Mancera fragrances, that says a lot for this. This right here does a very good job of cloning what's supposed to clone. This is just right there. This one comes down to personal bias, which I told you might factor into some of these. So between the two of these right now, Gold Prestigium is our winner right now as it stands today. All right. Next one up is going to be from the House of Argos. This is Triumph of Bacchus. Just a nice, sweet tobacco fragrance with crazy presentation. Going up against from Pandora Scent, this is Veteran Oud, which is their take on Stronger With You Oud. Does a good job, no question about it, but let's just be honest. I'm gonna automatically, you already know, this is kind of a blowout. This is good, don't get me wrong. The Stronger With You Oud is a good scent, works very well, but there's just something about it for me with this Triumph of Bacchus with the tobacco that just blows it out the park. Yeah, this is the winner, clear-cut winner from me between the two. Triumph of Bacchus wins that matchup. All right, next one up is going to be, this is going to be, in all honesty, this is a little closer just because they're both great scents, but when I show you the second one, you're going to be like, yeah. First one is from Ralph Lauren. This is Ralph's Club Parfum, which is a nice aromatic, woody type of scent, fresh woody scent. Very good on its own, good fragrance. But it's going up against the Juggernaut. it's going up against Bleu de Chanel Parfum. This to me, just, how can I put it? You've got just the versatility of it, the durability of it, all of those things. If this had gone up against some other things, this would have, been a different story, but it's going up against Bleu de Chanel. I'm sorry. Bleu de Chanel wins right now between the matchup between the two, and this is the Parfum that wins against Ralph's Club Parfum. All right. Next up, as far as our next head-to-head, is from Dumont. This is Nitro Green. Nitro Green. This is their take on, really it's inspired by, I think, I don't know that it's a full trying to be a take on, but it is inspired by Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male, which puts it in that space of 9 p.m. as well as, I forgot the other one, Ram's Silver, I think it is, by Lattafa, puts it in that space as far as what it smells like. Going up against, from the House of Lattafa, this is Fakar Black. And this is doing its take on YSL Y. All right. So both of them clones, both of them doing different things. But it's question, one is more of an inspired by, the other is more of a clone. I'm going to have to give it to Fakar Black. Just for me, this is pretty spot on as far as its take on the YSL Y DNA, as well as how long it lasts, things of that nature. They're both in that space. I'm just going to give the heads up or the edge to the Fakar Black. All right. Let's put that over here with our winners again. All right. Next one up is from, again, I mentioned the blue edition as one of my favorite houses. So no surprise, but we've got Mont Blanc Legend Red. I just noticed it doesn't have the Legend Red like the Legend Blue does. Maybe that was a different bottle design they decided to do. But again, Legend Red from Mont Blanc going up against from Hermes or Terre de Hermes. This is Eau Intense Vetiver. Eau Intense Vetiver. This is just it's a good, I would put this as an office scent. Just a nice, woody, fresh, spicy type of a fragrance that works for me as far as in an office situation. Doesn't have the best longevity, best performance as far as out of the Mont Blanc line. But going up against the Eau Intense Vetiver, this is a manly scent to me. This is just, this is what this is what the big dogs wear. This right here works in a variety of situations. Yes, definitely an office scent, but also works just out, hanging out, doing whatever you need to do. Terre de Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver was definitely on my list, did cop it. And so that's going to be the one that takes this heads up. So this matchup is going to go to Eau Intense Vetiver between these two. All right. Next one is another battle of clones. Let's get some stuff moved around here. Another battle of clones. In fact, these last two matchups are definitely battle of clones. First one up is we're going from Lattafa Amir Al Oud Intense. Going up against from Lodge, this is Shiaka, and I just call it the red label. I think there's a blue label. Some call it black, but there's a black label out there too. So we're gonna just call it red label. All right. Shiaka red label. This is doing its take on Amouage Reflection Man. And the Amir Al Oud is doing its take on, I want to say, By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela Replica. Which one does it best is really what it comes down to. Both have decent performance. This, I think, lasts a little longer than the Shiaka. This comes, in my opinion, a lot closer to the DNA. This is still good. It's in that range. It's in that space. There are some differences and nuances I can pick up between this and Reflection Man, but it is a good interpretation, a good clone, especially if you're looking for something in the budget range to pick up. But between the two, we're going to go with Amir Al Oud Intense by Lattafa. All right. And then the last one, our last matchup, our last heads up is going to be Ugly bottle versus cheesy bottle. Ugly bottle versus cheesy bottle. All right, we're talking from Lattafa, we're talking Mahir Legacy, going up against another one from Lattafa The Kingdom. All right, both are doing their take. This is doing its take on Sedley from Parfums de Marly, which is why I think they have the horse head. This is doing its take on Jean Paul Gaultier's Lamel Elixir. All right, this just comes down to my experience with both of them. They both do a good job of cloning what they're cloning. They both do a good job of performing. This, of course, just because it is more of a spring summer scent and because there's a lot of citrus in this is like Sprite in a bottle. It does not last as long as necessarily this does, but I'll give it kind of the okay with that, just because I recognize the difference in what they're as far as kind of what's in them. All right, but as far as my experience with them, we're gonna go with the Kingdom. This has just been a compliment beast for me. Every time I've worn it, pretty much I've gotten compliments. This just does a phenomenal job of cloning what it's cloning and performing when it needs to perform. So our last winner of the matchup is going to be the Kingdom from Lattafa. All right, so that's group 3 and group 4 as far as our matchups, which means that we're now into our round of 32. So be on the lookout. Definitely, I'll post in the community chat. I'll post the updated brackets, as it were, as far as the matchups. We're just going to keep it very simple. The first matchup in group 1 will go against the first match, or the 8th matchup in group 1, and likewise. So 1 will go against 8, 2 will go against 7, 3 will go against 5, and 4 will go, or 3 will go against 6, and 4 will go against 5. So we're just going to keep it real simple. So that way we're going to just honor the whole March Madness style. We're going to do it that way. All right. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if there's something that you're like, nah, Kevin, I got to give the win to such and such. Perfectly cool. Perfectly understandable. This is all subjective. And again, I've tried to let you know when my bias has kind of snuck in and said, this is the one that we're going to go with because of that. So let me know, again, your thoughts. Do me the favor, of course, always stay safe, stay sane, stay smelling good. And then do me the honor, hit that like, hit that request notifications, hit that share, hit that subscribe, all that fun stuff. I think I screwed that up, but y'all get it. Hit those things and then meet me in the comments. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed. Peace.